I give all the grace I need all the time.
Welcome to Agency for Change, a podcast from KidGlov that brings you the stories of changemakers who are actively working to improve our communities. In every episode, we'll meet with people who are making a lasting impact in the places we call home.
Hey everyone, this is Lynn Weinman. Welcome back to another episode of the Agency for Change podcast. I want you today to get ready to be inspired because we are chatting with Candy Jones, one of the driving forces behind Girls Inc. of Omaha. She has a true passion for empowering young women, and she's creating a brighter future for girls in her community so that they have the support and resources they need to become strong, smart, and bold. Candy, I can't wait to talk with you today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
I am eager to talk to you. I always like topics that deal with the empowerment of girls. And could you just start by telling us more about Girls Inc. of Omaha?
Yes, Girls Inc. has been around for quite a while. I am literally standing on the heels of some pretty incredible giants. We've been around since the early 70s, and
Wow.
we have done work. Yeah, we've been around focusing on the empowerment and development of young girls in our community. So we primarily navigate Black and Brown girls ages 5 to 18. And then we also operate a transitional living home. So we
Oh, wow.
also work with our young women that are aging out of foster care. So we're literally the full gamut. We do.
Yeah,
We
you
we
are.
work with our girls when they're babies, and we work with them into adulthood, so it's amazing. Yeah.
That is fantastic. I did not know that you had the
Uh-huh.
transitional housing, and that is such an important time when kids of all kids age out of foster care, and having that
Yes.
resource for them is cool. So, one thing I love about Omaha, Nebraska is that there are a lot of really great nonprofits that support all kinds of causes. And one thing I'd like to know from you is what sets Girls Inc. apart from some of those other great nonprofits?
Yeah, there are. There's so many amazing youth serving organizations, but I think what Girls Inc. has is number one, the legacy. We've been around, like I said, for a long time. We're kind of a staple in the community. We operate in both North Omaha and South Omaha, which gives us kind of a unique lens of
Yeah.
all of the different identities and cultures in our community. And because we're girl focused, I think that is what also gives us our credibility, but also what makes us just really unique and thoughtful is we're very intentional about offering our girls what they need. And I think that is what, really sets us apart.
That's awesome. So, Candy,
Yeah.
I think you and I first met at an event that was hosted by Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Yep.
It was their women's empowerment brunch in Omaha. I was on the panel. Girls Inc. of Omaha was the featured nonprofit. And there were three words that you had a lot of supporters and girls in the audience. There were three words that people kept chanting about Girls Inc. Could you share those three words and tell us a little bit about their importance?
Yes. Strong, smart, bold.
I love
Strong,
it. That's
smart, bold.
that's just how people did it. Strong, smart, bold. I was like, those are great things. I need to know more.
So the Strong Smart Bold is, and a lot of people know this, but Girls Inc. is a local affiliate of a national model. So we have locations in around 70, we have about 70 different affiliates. And Girls Inc. of Omaha is one of the ones that, does this incredible work around that Strong, Smart, and Bold mission. So ideally, when we talk about Strong, Smart, and Bold, we're talking about how our girls show up in the world. So
Yeah.
strong. We want our girls to feel good about themselves, have confidence. We do a lot with sports and athletics and eating healthy and just doing all the things to keep their bodies healthy
Yeah.
so they can, make it in the world. Smart is the model around the education aspect that we provide, all the program that we have that's centered around like STEM and math and education and ensuring that our girls are educated in this world and are able to use their knowledge to transform their own lives and the lives of those around them. And then the strong, smart, bold piece of it, the bold part is just kind of around the advocacy and our girls being able to stand up for themselves
Yeah.
and talk about themselves and do the work that they need to make sure that they're, again, bold in a world where it's kind of difficult for young women. So
I love
all of
it.
goes around our mission. Yeah. Strong, smart, bold.
Strong, smart, bold. I think it's a great chant for anyone, right? Like
Yes.
on those days when you're feeling like a little down, a little anxious, a little unsure of yourself. I think that's a great one. So let's talk about some of the key programs of Girls Inc. We talked about transitional housing, but talk give me an idea of all the different things that you do.
Yeah, we're so fortunate to have community support. Girls Inc. wouldn't exist without community. So a lot of the partners that we have that come in and do the work for us is centered around individual programs, right? So we have people that come in and teach dance, tennis, volleyball, track. We have people that come in and teach gymnastics. And part of that is, again, the exposure and awareness that we think our girls need in order to be successful. I just personally believe that with our programming, our girls see the world in a different way and maybe are exposed to things they wouldn't normally be exposed to. And I think that
Yeah.
changes lives. So a lot of our programming is just centered around giving the girls what they need to be successful, listening to them, so if they say, hey, Miss Candice, we want to go horseback riding, right? We find a way to make sure the girls go horseback riding. We
I
want to go
love it.
camping. We want to, right? So our programming is really centered around, again, that strong, smart, and bold model, but just exposure and awareness and allowing our girls to see what they can be, right? They
Yeah.
can be anything, but they won't know that until we expose them to it and they see it.
That's amazing. So, talk to me more about how you got motivated to fill this role. Because I know you've got a corporate background, you've got an entrepreneurial background, and now you've come to the nonprofit world. How did that work out?
Goodness. So I tell this story, and others have told it for me, that I actually said no a couple times because I knew how hard this world was. As you mentioned, I've done a lot of like executive leadership coaching, and I've done a lot of coaching in the community. So with that, I heard all the good, the bad, and the ugly about this world, right? And I
Yeah.
was very, very hesitant to get into nonprofit for several reasons. And the last time that I had a conversation with some dear friends and the board around this opportunity, I tell people my personal story is my grandmother had passed. I really believe that there was a point, maybe in a dream, where she said to me, "If not you, then who?" And it woke
Oh,
me up. Yeah, it woke me out my sleep. I remember I was crying because I had decisions
oh,
to make and I had a couple of opportunities on the table, and I'll never regret it. I mean, this was by far the best decision I've ever made in my life. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I knew
yeah,
it would be
yeah.
hard. But it's the most fulfilling job. And I think
Mm,
because of my background and the relationships I have, that's what's made this so worthy for me because it
yeah.
feels like everything I've experienced kind of came full circle.
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds like you truly were called to do this
Yeah,
work,
I
Candy.
think so.
Absolutely. Like not just called, but like dragged into it
Yeah.
perhaps. But how
Yep.
do the how do those perspectives of having that coaching background and the corporate background, how do they come to play now as you're leading a nonprofit and working with girls?
Yeah, I honestly think I just remember to give all the grace I need. I understand this is difficult, and I've said that many times people don't get into nonprofit unless they have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And so, in knowing that, it allows me to be a leader that has her own story, her own traumas, and her own things that have built me into the person I am. And so, I think, in this world to give what I know I needed in order to become who I am, right? And
Amazing.
I'm still a major work in progress. However, some of the things that I've handled and navigated and healed through, I think have prepared me for this. And
Yeah.
I just love people and I love our community deeply. And I just bring that with me.
Yeah. Since this is a
Yes.
podcast, people won't be able to see you, but I can see you and I can just feel your passion
Oh,
through the screen as we're talking and having this
glad.
conversation. So, obviously Girls Inc has a long legacy. You mentioned it was started in the 70s.
Mhm.
So you've got a legacy, but I know you also have a vision for the future, Candy. Like, how do you connect the two, the legacy and the vision? And what does that vision look like?
I want to honor the work that has happened to get us here. And I think in order to honor it, we have to do it. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
part of it is like we know that women fought for women's rights to get us to
Yes.
this point. We know that there are amazing women who fought for our women today to be able to run countries and do the things
Yes.
that they do. So I feel like I have a really strong sense of responsibility to ensure these girls in our care and our programs know that they can do those things. So I think my way of envisioning us towards the future is I think future state. What do I want these girls? At some point, we're going to all sit down, right?
Yeah.
All of us are going to retire. All of us are going to be tired, and we're going to sit down, and we need to know that our legacies and the young women coming behind us are going to carry this torch even further than we could.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of keep my brain focused on forward thinking and future focused and legacy. Just thinking about, Candice, when you sit down, how do you want this work to be carried on, and how can you make that happen if the girls don't know that they're capable?
Yeah.
So for
Wow.
me, it's like joining the legacy with future and just thinking about what I'm doing, right? The example I'm setting, modeling it so that these girls are better than me. That's what I want them to be, better than me.
I love it so much. So, Candy, I love your vision. I love your energy. What advice would you give to
Mhm.
somebody who's interested in making a difference in the lives of young women?
Just do it. You
Yeah.
do it every day. You do it every day. We do it when we pass a young lady on the street. We do it when we give a compliment. We do it when we say nice things to one another, when we support each other publicly and privately. It's not complicated. We just have to do
Right.
it. And I think our girls pay way more attention than we give them credit for. So I think
Yeah.
it's just in our everyday lives is how we really show up for our girls in a new way. I always say just be who you wished you had. Be the person you wish you had, or be the change, like we've heard you want to see. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do
And
it.
I think our girls will see it and they will model it, and we will really see a next generation of good, which I think is what
That's
we all.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Candy, I kind of feel like sometimes for an adult, it's slightly intimidating to try to
Mhm.
connect with adolescent or teenage girls because they maybe seem like they aren't listening, or they maybe make us feel like we're so old. But I think you're right. I think there's more listening and more appreciation than any of us
Mhm.
ever realize. Would you say that's also the case?
It's the truth. Listen, our youth are tough. They're tough.
They're
They're
tough.
tough. They're
Yeah.
smart
Yeah.
and they're tough.
Yeah.
And we got to keep up. We have to
Right.
keep up, and we cannot do things the way we've always done them and expect to change, right? So we have
Yeah.
to sometimes follow their lead, which is
Yeah.
different for us. But listening to them, and yeah, just being present and knowing that even if it looks and appears as if they're not hearing anything we're saying,
Yeah.
something is sticking. It will carry. So we just have to keep trying and have to keep going. Yeah.
Absolutely. That reminds me of something my daughters always remind me of, that if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Right. And you have to,
It,
we
yes.
all, regardless of our age, have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone and try some new things. So, Candy, for our listeners who would like to learn more about Girls Inc. of Omaha, where can they go? Where can they find more information?
Yes, so we are in the process of revising our website. So you may have some
Awesome.
glitches and outdated information, but we have a fabulous website coming soon. But www.girlsincomaha.org is our website today, and you can still find out some really cool information and get in touch with us there. But definitely be on the lookout for a new
That's so
website.
exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Blogs, we're going to do more social media. We're just going to have a lot of fun with our
Nice.
girls so you can really get a look at everything we're doing every day. So there's exciting stuff coming for sure.
I love that. Hey, we at KidGlov, an agency for change, we love a new website launch. But I tell you what, it's a little bit like building a house. It's a lot
Oh,
harder than you think it's going to be, right? There's
so much work.
so many details. So,
Yes.
yes, be
Yes.
kind, be patient. It'll be worth it, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, Candy, I can't wait to ask you this next question because you are such an inspirational person, but I'm inspired by motivational quotes. I've asked this
Mhm.
question of every podcast guest. Could you give us a few of your own words of wisdom to inspire our listeners?
So I have two things I say all the time. My colleagues here will probably laugh, but I always say I give the grace I need all the time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I give it because I know I need it, and that keeps me both humbled and present to what's going on, to not judge a situation, but to be in the moment of it. So I give all the grace I need.
Mm.
Also, things are difficult for many people, both personally and professionally, right? And I don't think any of us can deny that. So I think part of it too is I say something around, when you walk on the ground, right? You may not always feel it. You don't know that you have that support and stability, but it's there. And for me, that's faith, right? I
Oh.
keep one foot in front of the other. I don't always know what's happening underneath me. I may not even feel the ground someday. However, I keep walking because I know it's there. And for
Yeah.
me, that's faith. So faith and grace are the two things that I live by. And those are the two things I bring into everything I do.
Amazing. You're an overachiever.
Yeah.
I asked for one and you give me two. I love that. I love that. So, Candias, we wrap up this great conversation today. What is the most important thing you'd like to leave people with about the work that you're doing?
Uh, I would ask that our community understands that we as an organization are so committed to
Mm,
the work that we do. And change takes time, transformation takes time, trust. But just to know that we are so committed to
yeah.
do the work that we promised we do for our girls and that we care deeply. And I just want people to understand Girls Inc. is so much more than a daycare, right?
Yeah.
We are truly a leadership program and we will honor that. And so there are some amazing things happening that I want our community to know and be proud of. And we have a long road ahead of us, but it's going to be exciting. So I'm excited for it. And I want everyone else to be too.
That's fantastic. Candy, this has been so much fun. I fully believe the world needs more strong, smart, and bold people like you and more organizations like Girls Inc. I think we
Thank
should do the
you.
chant together to end it off, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Ready?
Strong,
Strong,
smart,
smart,
bold.
bold. Yeah.
I love
Thanks,
it. I love
Candy.
it. Thank you, Lynn. This has been awesome.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's Agency for Change podcast. To hear all our interviews with those who are making a positive change in our communities, or to nominate a changemaker you'd love to hear from, visit KidGlov.com at KIDGLOV.com to get in touch. As always, if you like what you've heard today, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.